All right, gang, we're going to go ahead and get this started. First off, we would like to welcome all of you beautiful people to the ALK Summit. It was such a special night last night at the welcome reception for all of you that were able to attend. Nancee and I were up on stage about to call attention to make a few announcements last night, and I turned to Nancee and I said, look at this group. It was all the way from one end to the other of people living with lung cancer and all talking and chattering and dressed in bright colors and just having a really good time. And it meant so much to us that put on this summit and that are a part of this. And it's so good to see all of y'all doing that and being a part. So I just got a couple of little things that we want to remind you. One is, has everybody taken their TKIs this morning? Small little detail. Please put your cell phones on silent. Yeah, I knew. I see everybody grabbing all of a sudden. I know how y'all are. Who's got the Tupac ringtone that was going to come up at full volume? And I like to. We had a really great. I think we should say who we are. So I'm Kirk Smith, and I'm president of the organization, diagnosed in 2013. And this is my partner.
Hey, I'm Nancee. I was diagnosed in 2016. I'm the vice president of the org. Kirk is always a gentleman, so he puts my name on top, but really I'd probably be flipped over the other way. But welcome. We're also happy for y'all to be here.
I put her name at the top because she's badass, and she does a whole lot more than I ever could, and this organization couldn't exist without her. So thank you, Nancee. Group walk this morning. Where's my group walk people? Arms up. Man, so good to have everybody. Biggest group we've had. And we got this shot. And for those of you that don't know it, right outside the hotel is the Cancer Survivors Park. Of all things, we didn't pick this hotel because of that. I just happened, when we got the hotel, one of the first things I do when we know our location is I go, okay, well, where am I going to take my group walk? Because Chris Turner knows that I don't know anything about any city that we've had summits. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can get everybody lost. And pops up on Google Maps, there's a Cancer Survivors Park. What the? And so it was so perfect. I mean, it's just a sign that it's meant to be. Also, I think one of the things important about the group walk to me, and it's going to be a part of one of the parts of the last session of this afternoon, is Dr. Flores and Nancee Campbell from Dana-Farber and their program, their session on the importance of exercise for lung cancer, self-image, body weight, etc. I think could be, and I personally think exercise, other than taking our TKIs on time, that regular exercise is the most important thing we can do is lung cancer patients. But don't believe me, come to the session and listen to the people that are smart, and they will tell you the same thing or something similar. All right, Nancee.
All right. I don't have a there you go. Thank you.
There we go.
All
Sorry.
right. We're going to do our traditional moment of acknowledging who's all in the room and when you were diagnosed and kind of just see who's all around us. I'd also like to first welcome everybody who is joining us online. We have hundreds of people who registered. Some of these folks, it's in the middle of the night, so maybe you're waiting to watch it later, but when you see it, you're welcome. And I know many of you joined the online events last night and got to see the happy hour and talk and see Summer's face close up many times in the screen because she said hi. We have people from all over the world joining us: Ecuador, Italy, Australia, India, many European countries. So welcome to everybody, and of course everybody also in the US. What we'd like to do right now is get y'all kind of moving a little bit, and when I call out your diagnosis timeline, if you would stand up along with your care partner so we can just kind of see who's in the room. We have 20%, about 1/5 of our patients were diagnosed within the last year. So if y'all would stand up, that would be great.
And your care partner if they're with you.
Oh yeah, your partner as well, please. Woo! Welcome, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. All right, thank you. If you want to sit, we'll have the next group, which is 1 to 2 years, 17%. If you and your partner want to stand up, Awesome. Okay, this is a big one. 28% have been 3 to 5 years since diagnosis. So if you all want to stand up and be recognized. Okay, 16%, 6 to 7 years. Okay, 11%. As we get to these, I'm like kind of blown away that these numbers are so big. It's so exciting about the progress that we're making in lung cancer. 11% of our room today is 8 to 9 years. So if you want to stand up, and I'm in that group. And finally, we have 8%, and if I'm just adding these together just because it kind of hits me that 20% of the people in here are 8 years and over, which is a lot of the room. It's a fifth of the room. But we have 8% at 10 years or more, and my partner is included in that group. So if y'all would want to stand up. Oh, we want to flip that guy. You have the button. Yeah. He's got control, so I'm at his mercy up here. Yeah. And 55% of the people in the room are first-time attendees at our summit, which is really fun, and we can't wait to hear what your feedback is. So if all of you first-time attendees would stand up, that would be awesome.
So awesome.
It kind of looks like more. From up here, that looks like more, but anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
All right, sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, now we cannot forget the folks who actually make this summit possible, besides all of our volunteers and workers, which is our partners in this and our sponsors. And they're all listed up here, and they've been at the events. They're here today, and we just want to thank them from the bottom of our hearts. Their collaboration and partnership and support makes all of this possible for us, and they are our friends and our family. So I hope y'all get the opportunity to meet them. There's a poster room right across from here next to where registration was, and it has posters of all their research. I think everyone brought a poster, I'm not sure. And then there are several booths, really fun, amazing creative booths out in the hall, and you can stop by and check out the booth and talk to our partners. So thank you all so much, and thanks to Nuvalent for sponsoring last night and Pfizer for tonight's dinner.
And this summit doesn't happen without the amazing All About Events team. Sarah's back in the back texting for some emergency that's happening right now. And but thank you, Sarah and Bree and the whole team. Y'all are incredible, and they are the best people to work with. And then Keith and the AV people. Nancee said I'm in control, but really the people in control is Keith and the AV people, so they can cut me off at any time. My wife's probably wishing they would do that right now. But thank y'all. What's up, Nancee?
Okay, we're just going to talk just for a second about some of the work we've been doing this last year. We worked with a consultant to come up with a strategic plan and to try to make ourselves a little more like a real company, a real organization, than a bunch of people just working like crazy. And we have lots of information about the history of our organization on our website. There's YouTube videos, but just as an overview, it started as an offshoot or an evolution from a support group that started in 2015, and we started in 2017.
And I just wanted, we're going to show you our vision and values, and then just 4 main goals. So we won't get into a strategic plan for y'all, because I know your eyes were probably already rolling. But we think these are important. These 2 right here, a world in which ALK positive cancer is a curable disease. And any of you that have gone through a strategic plan know the process. And then our values. And this one is very important to me and for all of us on the board, but it's also important that compassion is the first main word. So everything that we do as an organization is led by compassion. The transparency, the integrity, the focus, the respect, and the timeliness and accountability, all is important as well, but we want to know that leading this organization is led from a base of compassion. So, Nancee.
Okay, we just have 4 quick goals, but just so you all keep in mind, this is what we focus on every day when we're working to support our community. Goal number 1, obvious, drive research to a cure for ALK positive cancer. That's literally all we talk about, what we do every single day.
Yeah, and you'll find a lot more about goal number one right after lunch with Ken Culver and the medical committee. We'll have a fantastic presentation. It's gone through iterations, and every time Ken shares it with us with a group, I've come away so fired up. And what Ken and the medical committee are doing is literally life-changing and so motivational. So make sure you are here, eyes open for that one, taking notes.
Okay, our second goal, empower and educate patients, care partners, and clinicians. This is it. This is it right here. We also do ALK Talks that I know you guys are familiar with. We have a website. We're so lucky that so many key opinion leaders are willing to partner with us for both the ALK Talks, this event, and help us really provide as much information as we can.
Goal number 3.
Our last goal, which is the only way we can make any of this happen, is to raise money. Honestly, it also includes all the resources of volunteers and people, but in order to fund research, we really need to continue to try to raise money. And we have raised about $15 million since the genesis of this organization. So that's pretty big deal, pretty exciting. And this June, many of you participated in our ALK Positive Awareness Month, and we exceeded our goal of $500,000. We raised about $600,000. We are on target to do really well this year, so we appreciate it. And as Kirk said, after lunch, you'll see some presentations on all the things that our medical committee, led by Dr. Ken Culver, are working on, and really where all your dollars go. Things like the summit are fully funded by our sponsors. So I want you to be aware when you donate money to ALK Positive Incorporated, that money is going directly to research and funding the organization. Things like this, we're so lucky and fortunate that the sponsors fund these.
You want to do this one?
Okay. This is fast, I promise. What do we want you all to take away? I don't even know if I can read these fast enough. Why isn't it going? Okay.
Just click.
I did click. So see, I'm not allowed to have the toys. This is why. No, it's not.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Education, motivation, inspiration, connections, friendships, confidence, knowledge, support, hope. And from our perspective, hope is informed optimism, and that's what we're trying to provide for you here. Information, knowledge, support, to give you optimism that's based on real things that are happening around us that are gonna make a difference to our futures. And I'll pass this back. I won't make it move, though.
Yep. Care partners matter. This is very important for y'all to hear and for the care partners in the room to understand. You are as much a part of this journey as those of us that are living with this disease. My wife's sitting right over there. And we want to give you just a little background on that. This is a shot of Jane and I from 2017. It was just 2 weeks after my first brain radiation treatment. And we went on this trip down the South Georgia area where my wife is from, and it just seems like a normal, cute photo of a goofy couple. But if you look a little closer, there's this bald spot on the left side of my head, and that was a result of the brain radiation treatment. Well, the thing about this that's important is that I forgot all about it. I felt great. Forgot I had cancer. And I couldn't see this bald spot on the side of my head, but Jane could, and Jane could see it every time I was around, and anytime she was around me, there was this constant reminder of cancer's presence. And to me, this photo is kind of a reflection of what being a care partner is like, in that oftentimes, and look around this room, the cancer is not visible. You know, most of us nobody would walk into this room and think this is a summit for people living with stage 4 lung cancer. But Jane could always see that, and she understands the importance or what can happen at every scan. It could be a life-changing moment. So I'm sharing that with you because I want you all to understand, as care partners in the room, that we see you, that this summit is as much for you guys as it is for those living with the disease, carrying the disease. You are living with the disease, and I wanted y'all to hear that and understand it. Do you have 8 minutes? Now I know good and well there are people in this room. I had some interesting discussions on the walk this morning. There are people in this room that are dealing with some hard stuff. And, you know, this is, if you were at the reception last night, there's nothing but really, really good energy. But sometimes even that can be intimidating. And we want you to know that we know that that's possible. There was a study that I read about recently that said if somebody's going through a hard time, if they'll just reach out to a friend, and just spend 8 minutes with that friendship, listening to each other, acknowledging each other, that it can reset that person. And it's not going to fix that, but we want you to know that this is our code for this weekend. And there's several people that are wearing these buttons that do you have 8 minutes, or I have 8 minutes on the button. And I'm saying from the stage, Nancee and I are saying from the stage, my wife is saying it from right there, that this is our code. So if you want to hand me a note that says, do you have 8 minutes? I know that you're asking a chance to sit down, and we'll spend that time with you. I can't promise to fix whatever's scaring you. If it's a scan coming up next week, if it's a scan you just had, if it's progression that you're having. But if you're stuck in the mud, I promise you that I will sit down in the mud with you, and we will talk about it, and you will be heard. So. The gift of other people. And this is going to be the transition I have to Nancee. Nancee's one of those gifts of other people. This is a term Jane and I use a lot for these interactions that you have. It's happened with me for like the group walks, where you just happen to walk up beside somebody and you have a nice discussion and it brightens your day. Or maybe that's a connection for life. Jim Porter, I talked about that last night. I told y'all that the first time I ever met Jim was on one of the group walks in Denver. And I consider Jim a good friend, and that collaboration and partnership with Jim and Nuvalent has been important, all because of that. When I was diagnosed with cancer, probably the biggest surprise to us is these connections to Jane and I, these connections that we have made. We're going to be making them with all of you in this room, and all those connections have enhanced our lives. I never would have guessed that a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis would bring out these opportunities and these beautiful people that we get to spend time with, and it enhances our life. One of those people that I consider a mentor and an inspiration is, I'm going to hand it to Nancee, and I'll let you do it. It's going to, okay. The Spirit of Courage Award.
I'm already kind of teary-eyed up here. Several months ago, our team started to talk about how we wanted to recognize a specific member of our community who has been incredibly dedicated and committed to our mission for years. And when we talked that through, this person has been generous in every way and unceasingly committed to all of us, to every single person. And so we decided to create an award honoring this person, and we're calling it the Spirit of Courage Award. I'm going to read this to you because I couldn't memorize it, and I will tell you that it's in very tiny writing, so I hope I can. This is a definition that we use to reference this. The spirit of courage refers to the inner strength and determination that allows individuals to face difficult, painful, or dangerous situations without fear. It's not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to act despite it. This spirit can manifest in many, many forms, from everyday acts of resilience to heroic feats and profound generosity to others. The person that we've decided to recognize exemplifies this definition and more. He was a founding member of ALK Positive, and that was when it was a tiny group of people with a dream and a lot of passion that ended up with this. And this takes my breath away, and he is a main reason for that. So it is my honor and privilege to present the Spirit of Courage Award, the very first one, where this is going to be an ongoing award, to my very dear friend, and as Kirk says, a hell of a good guy, Mr. Colin Barton. Here's some pictures of Colin as you come on up.
This is when I get to get Kirk and embarrass it all.
I'm glad that Colin drove, because this award would be hard to take on the airplane. Would you like to say a couple words?
They kept this a good secret.
Yes, we did.
Absolutely honoured. It's been a hell of a journey. When I look out here and realise that there's hundreds more either watching or going to be watching recordings, it just brings tears to my eyes. We will get to a cure. Keep it going, everyone. Thank you.
I know.
Thank you, Colin.
Colin was freaking us out coming in at 8:31 this morning. I'm sure I was like, he had to be suspicious last night, because I think I asked him 4 times, so what time are you planning to arrive? You really need to be in your seat. Colin and I have this running joke that started in Denver, because Colin and I just knew each other from Zoom for so much, and when the summit was going to be in Denver, I texted him and said, just expect an extremely awkwardly long hug when I see you in person. And much to my surprise, Colin was all in on that. So every time we see each other, including yesterday, we had this extremely awkwardly long hug. So my challenge to you, audience, is whenever you have breaks or you're on lunch or this evening at dinner, your challenge is to give Colin an extremely awkwardly long hug. 450 awkwardly long hugs. Colin is the best. You know, I was going to have some words about what all the good things about him, and one of them I was going to say is he suffers no fools, but he has put up with my crazy shit for the last 4 years, and so he obviously suffering at least one. And he's been so much a part of this. And so it is now time to introduce our keynote speaker. And this relates. I want to give all of y'all know Jessica's, and I'm calling a lot of the docs from stage by their first name, and Jessica said it was okay. She gave me approval because they are part of our family. And I'm looking here at this front row of our people, and they are our people, and we exist because of them. You know, I was having this great conversation at dinner at ASCO, and I asked Angel how she got into lung cancer, and she was originally going into breast cancer until she spent some time at a VA with lung cancer patients. And she said, "This is my tribe." And I love that, because we want to be their tribe and they're part of ours. Ross was told early in his career that he was wasting his career by doing drug development studies with lung cancer patients because they didn't live long enough. Imagine if he had listened to that advice, because Ross has been such an integral part of all of us still being here, the drug development. Alice sitting down here, much of her research, and I'm going to have to paraphrase this, so Alice, I apologize if I screw it up a little bit, but much of her research was the basis of lorlatinib and now the Nuvalent drug. And interesting note, which I think is important and maybe related to a breakout session that's coming tomorrow, is that was all from NIH funding grant. So most of you are alive here today because of that, and because of that kind of study and NIH funding. Science is important. and it's the only reason all of us are still alive.